presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are so.
Welcome to the Friday Night Showdown, presented by Kaiser Permanente, live from SunTrust Park, where last night the Braves walked off the Marlins in dramatic fashion.
So now it's an 0-2 pitch. Eckert hammers it down the line. Here comes Freddie around to score, and the Braves walk off in the ninth and beat Miami.
Who will be the hero tonight? Chip Carey, Joe Simpson, and Tom Glavine have the call coming up right now.
Games like last night make you eager to come back to the ballpark. Matt Adams, one of the late inning heroes for the Braves. Ozzie Albies, a redeeming hit. And, of course, Kurt Suzuki with a walk-off winner as the Braves knock off the Marlins in Game 1 of our 4-game series here at SunTrust Park. Hi again, friends. Chip, Joe, and Tom, welcome back to Atlanta, where the Braves and Fish play in Game 2 of the series. Fellas, what a finish. We've said it so many times. The Braves don't always win, but they sure do give you an exciting final 3 innings, and last night, no exception.
And a lot of walk-off wins. Boy, that's always fun. They've been wearing out the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, one of those late inning heroics, and that's been going on basically all year long for Brian Snitker and his ball club. Second most wins in their last at bat in the National League. And from the 7th inning on, they lead the National League in runs and average. You see their 3 walk-offs against the Fish. And for pitchers, Tom, I know they know if they can keep it close, they got a chance.
Yeah, no, we talk about that all the time. Game management, particularly from the starting pitching standpoint or the pitching in general. Keep the game close, and that's why you want to keep it close, because those guys have a knack for coming back late and winning ball games. So keep it close. Give those guys at the back end of the bench and in the back end of the game a chance to win it for you, and they've been doing that a lot.
And that assignment goes to Mike Foltynewicz tonight. He pitches for the Braves in Game 2. The big right-hander will try to beat Jose Urena and the Marlins here at SunTrust Park next.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
Mike Foltynewicz to the mound for Atlanta as the Braves try to make it 2 in a row over the Miami Marlins and 3 in a row overall. And Mike's pitched pretty darn well against these guys. Hopefully that'll continue, as his last 2 outings certainly have seemingly turned things around for him.
Yeah, 27th start of the year, and it's been a little bit of a roller coaster year for him. You see, post All-Star break, 10 games, 3-6 record. Pre All-Star break, 17 games, 7-5 record. So the second half of the year has been a little bit of a struggle for him. So with I don't know, 2, 3, 4 starts left in the season here, I'm sure he's wanting to keep things back on track like it was against Chicago and trying to finish the year strong.
Well, if he wants to finish on a high note, here are a couple of Ford keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, he's back. Justin Bour off the DL tonight, just in time for Folty. He's 7 for 11 with 2 homers against Foltynewicz this year. And the fish are biting. They certainly are. Whatever he's been serving them, they are biting on it, because he is 2-0 against them this year in 3 starts with a 1.96 ERA against them. Pitched some great games, some of his best.
So here's the lineup Mike will face in game 2 of the series. The Marlins starting 9 presented by their manager, Don Mattingly and Toyota. D. Gordon carrying an 11-game hit streak into action tonight. Derek Dietrich gets the start at third. Then it's Christian Yelich, Ozuna the cleanup man. Joe mentioned Justin Bour at first base. JT Realmuto behind the plate. Ichiro Suzuki in right field for Giancarlo Stanton, who's got the night off. Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, and Jose Urena is the starting pitcher. Anytime Giancarlo Stanton is out of the lineup, Tommy, I would think that's a good thing if you're a major league starting pitcher.
Well, it is, but then you can't relax and lose focus on the guy who's replacing him. Ichiro can hit a little bit too.
So D. Gordon stands in, and we are underway. A fastball off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
Good to see Tyler Flowers back too, fresh off the disabled list.
Beautiful 72-degree night. As that one smacked towards center off the bat of D. Gordon, and Ender retreats, and there's the first out. Here's Derek Dietrich. He came on as a pinch hitter last night, struck out in the 8th inning. He's getting the start at third base for Brian Anderson, who was very impressive at the hot corner. First time we saw the Marlins farmhand in a major league game. Anderson had a couple of hits, reached 4 times, drove in a run, and scored a run. Dietrich with a .243 average, and he takes a strike.
Did the umpire wipe out that inner line of the batter's boxes? I don't think Tyler Flowers does that.
No, I don't think he does either.
But you know what it does to me from the center field camera? If I'm the pitcher, I look like I've got a big alley to work there.
Yeah.
Not just the plate, but that dirt area in between. Nice alley.
And Mike Machlinski is the man calling balls and strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Dietrich. Base is empty and taken high.
Mike's last start in Chicago, a much better outing than he had had in the previous 3 or 4. He took a loss, but he got shut out. No offensive support. He went into the 7th inning, only gave up 2 runs. John Lackey pitched that game for the Cubs, is the best I've ever seen John Lackey pitch.
Yeah, he was on his game. Unfortunately for Mike, Lackey was just as good, a little bit better.
Wind was howling in at Wrigley Field, and it was fly ball palooza for Lackey. As Mike missed badly outside, full count for Dietrich. Christian Yelich waits on deck. He had a hit last night. Miami scored 3 runs in the first inning. As that one's called strike 3. Dietrich caught looking, and Foltynewicz has his first strikeout of the game.
Our sharp camera operators on top of it caught the home plate umpire, Mike Machlinski, wiping out that inside line on both sides.
wonder why he does that.
I don't know, unless he's concerned that a ball in the dirt that might hit the chalk might spray up in his eyes or the catcher's eyes. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
But it's just the visual of it now. Looks very inviting if you're.
I mean, I've seen umpires wipe out the catcher's box, but never the inside of the batter's box.
No balls and a strike for Yelich. And upstairs for an even count. Yelich reached base 3 times last night. 2 walks, a first inning single, run, and RBI. He's got 150 hits this season for the Marlins.
He's a solid player. Good player, good outfielder. I like watching him play.
Me too. Does everything well.
Now the 1-2 pitch is smoked into center, and a line drive right at Ender retires Christian Yelich. Good start for Fultonevich. 3 up, 3 down. Here come the Braves at SunTrust Park. The host of American Idol thrown out the first chop tonight.
Out of Dunwoody High School.
He's done all right for himself.
Would he make it to the next round with that particular act?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Well, hopefully that's a good start for the Braves.
We'll leave it for the studio audience to vote.
Ender Inciarte is going to lead off again for the Braves. Albies, Freeman, Kemp, the first 4. Still no Nick Markakis. Good to see Tyler Flowers back, as Joe said. Then the kids, Ruiz, Swanson, Jace Peterson in right field. Jose Urena is the Marlins starter. This guy has been a revelation for them, a 12-game winner.
Making his 24th start on the year, 12-6 on the season. And after, like you say, after starting the season in the bullpen, pressed into action due to injuries. And he's made the most of it. He's had a good year. Last 9 starts, 5-2.
And first pitch grounded to D. Gordon at second. And Ender's retired for the first out. With all the injuries that the Marlins encountered, as Tom alluded to, they gave him a start on May 7th against the Mets. And I would say Urena enjoyed it. 6 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. That's a terrific way to debut in a new assignment.
Pitched a great game his last time out against the Phillies. Only gave up 1 run, but got a no decision. Went 7 innings.
I like his arm, like his stuff. Throws hard with movement.
Yeah, he can pop it up to 97.
No swing for Ozzie Albies, who drove in a couple of runs last night. Boy, this kid had to feel great in the bottom of the 9th inning. after a fielding error in the 8th led to a go-ahead run for the Marlins. Ozzie came up in the 9th inning with Nick Markakis at third base, and he ripped a double to get it tied. And he's our Georgia Lottery feature with good luck and good work. That's off the pitcher's glove. Gordon's got it. Has to hurry his throw, and he got Ozzie by his step. So that's a 1-4-3 put out. 2 up, 2 down. Freddie Freeman, the batter. Freddie reached 3 times last night, was walked twice. And it was Freddie Freeman that scored the winning run for the Braves on Kurt Suzuki's 9th inning base hit. And a swing and a miss, strike 1 for Freeman. Freddie not too sure about that.
Urania against the Braves has made 3 starts this year, and he has pitched 6 innings or more and allowed 2 runs or less in all 3 starts.
Just missed a corner. And now it's 2-2. This man's been a very nice find in rotation for the Fish. As Freddie hammers one toward left, Ozuna's there, and he's got it. And Urania works a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 1st inning.
Second inning of a scoreless contest. I'm Andre Aldridge. You know, it's always good to be back in the home ballpark, but for Mike Foltynewicz, there might be less stress for him today, despite pitching in his last game away from Atlanta. That's because he told me he was really at home last time, folks. You know what? He told me it's always a different situation when you got 100 friends or family members in the stands like he did at Wrigley Field. He said now it's just a stress-free environment for him tonight, and he was splendid, Chip, in those 6 1/3 innings of work despite taking the loss.
And he's off to a good start tonight. Fastball touched almost 100 miles an hour in the 1st inning. That one at 98. The 14th pitch of the game to Marcell Ozuna. Andre, thank you very much.
It's stressful having to get tickets on the road, but 100 at Wrigley, that causes you some stress.
1 ball, 1 strike. And he paints a corner to Ozuna.
2 great fastballs. First one at the knees, and last one on the outside corner at the knees.
kick save and a beauty by Tyler Flowers. And it's 2-2. Last 12 starts for Foltynewicz, only 4 of them have been on his home mound. Truly has been a road warrior for the Braves. And he's trying to even his record at 11-11 tonight. And a swing and a miss. Wicked pitch carves up a good hitter. Ozuna down on strikes. 4 up, 4 down to start the game.
Pretty good sequence, like you said. You can locate that fastball down and away at 95 or 100, or heck, at 88 you're going to give hitters trouble, but at 95 and 100, and then you can follow with that pitch that starts in the same slot, hitters have no chance.
Well, here's one of Joe's Ford keys. Justin Bour is back for Miami after missing time with an oblique problem, and this guy flat out gives the Braves nightmares. 11 career homers and 116 at bats against the Braves, and 3 of his 21 blasts this year have come against Braves pitching.
And 2 of those 3 this year off Mike Foltynewicz.
Two balls, no strikes.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good year considering he got off to a horrendous start. Turned things around pretty well.
And he can hit a fastball, and he just gaps one toward the Braves bullpen. Ender cuts it off in front of the warning track. Bour hustling to second. The throw is a little late. Long slide by Bour, who dug out a trench before it got to the second base bag. And he's the first Marlin to reach. It's a 1-out double.
Fastball belt tie. He's going to hit that all night. But you're right, Chip. It's like he was dragging an anchor as he was going into second base. But he did get there.
I think he's as surprised as the rest of us that it took so long. But he's in scoring position for JT Realmuto, who's catching tonight for Miami. JT played first base in game 1. I like this guy a lot. I think he's going to be a star. Two of his 16 homers have come against the Braves. And that's just outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Miami got Realmuto in the 3rd round of the draft 7 years ago. He entered this season with 21 career homers. He's hit 16 this season. Three balls, no strikes. And he paints the corner. This is an area where the Marlins have really had trouble in their last 11 games. Their batting average with runners in scoring position is anemic. They're 141 as a club during this long dry spell. And Realmuto on a check swing is rung up, full count.
He was trying to sell it by starting to walk to first, but I think even he knew he had gone too far.
Yeah, it was a half-hearted sell.
Now the full count pitch is driven toward right. Jace Peterson back, still going to the track. He makes the grab. Bour will tag and head to third, but that's the second out of the inning.
I know Mike got the strikeout on Ozuna with a breaking pitch, but it was all set up by his fastballs early in the count. And he came back with a 3-2 fastball there, located it pretty well, got the out, and I like how aggressive he is with the heater so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, look, even when you throw hard, you still have to be able to command your fastball in order to set up all your other pitches, and really in order to get the respect of the hitter. If they think you can locate your fastball, then they're more likely to chase some of those sliders that come out of your hand looking like a fastball. But if you're not commanding your fastball and they see that slider comes out and it looks a little bit like a ball to them, they're much less likely to chase it.
Now Ichiro Suzuki bats with a runner at third and 2 outs. Ichiro came on in the 8th inning last night and hit a blooper to left that put Miami in front. His 26th pinch hit of this season. And he's rung up by Marty Foster, 0-2.
Should have been rung up on the pitch.
Yeah.
Good stop by Tyler. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Major League Baseball single season record for most pinch hits in a year is 28 by John Vander Wal. That was in 1995. Ichiro has 26 for Miami with about 3 weeks to play. The pitch is way up and away. And he's gotten those 26 pinch hits in a record 95 pinch hit plate appearances, which is a new Major League single season record. He passed Rusty Staub for that honor.
I was going to say that seems like a lot in a year.
It is.
2-2. From 0-2 now to a full count. And Ichiro getting the start for Giancarlo Stanton, who's been in there just about every day for the last 6 weeks for Miami. He is available off the bench.
Well, that in and of itself is huge news and good news for the Marlins, that he's been able to stay injury free this year for the most part and play as many games as he has.
It's fouled away by Suzuki. Full count still. Suzuki takes a walk, gently lays his bat down as he customarily does, and he trots to first. And Mike loses Suzuki after getting ahead of him 0-2. But you can understand the care he had with Suzuki. Now he's got the right hand hitting Miguel Rojas, who does not yet have a hit against the Braves this year. We last saw the Marlins here in Atlanta. Don Mattingly had some interesting comments in the Miami newspapers about Rojas. Joe mentioned last night they've gone through a lot of shortstops this year. They traded Adeiny Echeverria to Tampa Bay. JT Riddle got hurt. And then Don Mattingly said, well, it's time for Miguel to step up and show that he can be an everyday player in the major leagues. He's hitting .258, 12 RBIs for the year. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike.
And he had some injury problems of his own early in the year. I think he had a thumb injury.
A hot shot and through for a base hit. And Miguel Rojas with a 2-out hit brings home Justin Bour, and Miami strikes first. So that is his first hit of the year against the Braves. He took it the other way, and the walk to Suzuki leads to a long inning and a Miami lead.
Only his 13th RBI, but he got a pitch up. Even though he was late on it, he was able to slice it through the hole.
So Urania staked to an early lead. He'll bat with 2 outs. He's 3 for 39 and 21 strikeouts this year. Urania, another Marlin who made his major league debut against the Braves April 14th, 2015. And he shoots one over second, and that's going to split Peterson and Inciarte. Ichiro scores, and Rojas all the way around to third base. So opposing pitchers continue to give Atlanta's starting pitchers all kinds of trouble. An RBI hit for Urania makes it 2-0.
And he was 1 for 3 off Fultonevich earlier this year. Jace Peterson was playing him real shallow in right field, expecting him to kind of maybe dunk one out there, and as a result couldn't get over to cut that off.
So all of this with 2 outs and the bottom of the order, a walk, 2 singles, and 2 runs are in.
Well, and it gets back to what we were praising Mike about in the first inning, and the first couple hitters this inning was fastball command. His fastball command's been off these last couple hitters. Got one up to Rojas, base hit. Got one up to the pitcher, base hit. You know, and even for pitchers, I know they don't hit much, but you can put a fastball somewhere up in the strike zone that they can get their bat on you. That's their best chance.
Now you've got to deal with D. Gordon. Who skies one toward left. Long run Kemp near the line, and in foul ground he'll haul it in. The 42nd hit by an opposing pitcher against the Braves staff leads to a 2-run Miami second inning.
To you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Friday night in Atlanta. Nice crowds gathered on Friday night for fireworks. And hopefully a lot of our friends from the southeast fleeing Hurricane Irma have decided to join us tonight. As Miami's taken a 2-0 lead, Matt Kemp will lead off the Braves second. Matt had a good night for Atlanta in game 1.
He jumped on that high slider from Straley. Got the Braves started. Number 18 for Matt.
And that's Matt's career work against the Marlins. 9 homers. He'll be followed by Tyler Flowers and Rio Ruiz. Rojas a run scoring hit. Jose Urena a run scoring hit. By the way, he has 4 hits this year. 2 of them have come against Mike Foltynewicz. So let's see if Atlanta can get a couple of those runs back. They came back from 3-0 last night early. Matt with 18 homers, 58 knocked in, a .286 average. One ball, no strikes. Got a special treat for you after the inning is over. Joe and Tom are going to
wrestle.
Well, maybe it's going to be a race to the broadcast booth door because as Kemp hits one to third. Nice pick by Dietrich. Muscles that throw to first in time for the first out. Joe and Tom are going to head over to the Fox Sports Florida booth and work with Rich Walls and offer the Braves' perspective on the Marlins telecast. And the gentleman on your left, former Brave Todd Hollinsworth, is going to come over and talk about things from the Marlins' perspective with me during the 3rd inning. That'll be fun.
So what you really wanted to leave it at was you're in for a treat because Tom and Joe are leaving.
That's really that's where he was headed.
That's where he was going, right?
Absolutely. Rich Walls is at a disadvantage because Tom and I have already submitted a list of questions he can ask us and some that he cannot.
All right. So we'll see how it works out. I think that'll be fun. Get a different perspective on the respective clubs.
I think we did that a couple of years ago when Tommy Hutton swapped places.
So Tyler Flowers, welcome back. Good to have him back in the lineup after a wrist issue. Knocked him to the disabled list for 10 days. Tyler at .279, 11 homers and 43 driven in. And that's taken downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now full count. It's no secret that something the Marlins are looking for is dependable starting pitching. They had this guy in their organization. They had him in their bullpen. They gave him a new assignment, and he has taken to it very, very well. Now, challenge for Miami will be building around him in rotations. That one's lined over Rojas at short. And Tyler Flowers is welcomed back from the DL with a clean single here in the 2nd.
Not only is he glad to be back, he's glad to get that 0 for 15 that he had working off of his shoulders too. And a lot of that because he was trying to play through that injury, which was on his glove hand and right in between, right at the base of his hand, between his thumb and the left heel of his hand, if you can picture that. Right in that indentation. Said he'd never had a problem there before. It was on a foul tip on a pitch from Jim Johnson.
Little roller. Urena fields, fires to second one. The turn is not in time. Ruiz just did beat it at first. Heads up play by Urena to get the force of the Braves catcher at second, and Tim Wallach might ask the Marlins to review that bang bang play at first.
That's a nice play. Could have taken the easy way out, but recognized he got a catcher running at second base, set himself, made a good throw. And it came close to turning the double play. I don't know.
I want to know if he kept the bag.
Yeah, how about Rojas? Couldn't see because Tyler was blocking it, but.
So we might have 2 reviews here.
He definitely beat the throw.
And was Rojas on the bag?
He kicked it, but did he have the ball in his glove yet?
Apparently not enough video evidence for the Braves to consider a challenge. They'll settle for Rio at first with 2 outs on the force play. And that brings up Dansby Swanson. Dansby's on a nice roll. Sits safely in 21 of his last 26 games. And starts action tonight with a .240 batting average. As our stat man Jared Burleson told us late last night, this is the first time Dansby has been at .240 with his batting average since opening day. It's been a long, steady climb offensively for the Braves shortstop.
Well, regardless of what that number is, and obviously 240 is not what he wants, he's got to feel awful good about the way he's played and the way he's handled himself. But you know, like I said, the way he's played the second part of the season and really got things back on track.
That's a lot of hard work to come from the 180s or wherever he was to get it back to 240. That's playing good baseball. A lot of hits.
And he did it hitting 8th, which is, I would imagine, even more difficult in the National League. And to his credit, when teams pitched around him, he took his walks. He was getting on base, not over anxious at the plate. And he's moved up to the 7th spot for the Braves. And he looks outside at ball 2. Two outs, 1 aboard, 2-0 Miami. Little tapper hit toward third. Dietrich's got it. Long throw. And that gets Dansby Swanson. Rainier has a shutdown inning. Fellas, good luck. We'll see you in the 4th. Todd Hollandsworth will join me on the Braves cast.
Yeah, we may not be back.
Special treat for us. Former National League Rookie of the Year and former Brave Todd Hollandsworth.
That's right. It's a little bit of time, about a month.
Yeah.
Had a good start, a couple of good games, a couple ones at the end, and then I didn't do a whole lot in the middle. The 1 month I was here. Anyway,
but here you are. You're still welcome anytime. Once
I put the headset on. Well, you and I have a long history. We go all the way back to our Cubs days together.
A lot of gray hair and a lot of pounds.
Well, me too. That's right.
Well, you look good. I
appreciate it.
Let's talk about your ball club. You had a 2.5-week run where everybody thought the Marlins were going to climb back into this playoff race, and unfortunately for the Fish, last 11 games haven't gone so
well. They haven't, and I think that, you know, if you're watching this outside of Miami, you'd look and say, okay, well, Giancarlo Stanton cooled off, and so did the Marlins, and you know what, in some way that is the answer, but I don't think it's entirely the answer. It's just the type of team that has a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot, that's not the right word, some really good key players, and when those good key players play, they have a chance to beat anybody.
How about Derek Dietrich, Georgia Tech native, hits one into the chop house. A line drive home run. for the Marlins' second-place hitter. And all of a sudden, Giancarlo Stanton's thinking, uh-oh, Wally Pitt. Derek Dietrich.
I don't think he's fearing that. Well, for Derek Dietrich and the lefties in this lineup, they've been putting some at-bats on Fulton-Avich. That's one thing that really stood out to us, is that maybe there was an opportunity for the lefties to do some damage today, and we've seen a little bit of it in this ball game already. You see this pitch right above the knees and the extension that Dietrich has been looking for. Dietrich has lost a little bit of playing time because of Brian Anderson over at third base, but this is a no-doubter.
So from one tough left-hand hitter to another, a guy that we really love, Christian Yelich, one of our favorite players, Gold Glove center fielder, guy that we think can win a batting title, and man, oh man, what a number 3 hitter for Don Mattingly's club.
Well, and he's had an interesting year. He's probably the of the group, Ozuna or maybe a D. Gordon who's about ready to steal. I mean, when he steals his 50th base, he's had that kind of season.
Another rope. This one headed for the gap and toward the Braves bullpen fence. Yelich on his way to second is going to stop there. So a homer and a double starts the inning.
Well, I better talk fast.
The lefties are having some fun.
It seems like they're digging in the batter's box, and these lefties are putting good swings on Fulton-Avich. That's that little cut fastball that he throws stays up. He's missed out over the plate a few times in tonight's ball game, and from Justin Bour to Christian Yelich, they've pretty good swings on him in that gap.
You look at your lineup: Gordon, Stanton, Yelich, Ozuna, Bour, Realmuto. That's as good a National League offensive starting 6.
Agreed.
A question we have about the Marlins is, once you get past those 6, depth seems to be an issue for the Marlins club.
It's reality. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's kind of been the discussion with the Marlins over, I think, a greater period of time, not just this year, is sometimes being able to create the depth that's necessary to win in a 162-game season. I mean, again, this is what you see every day. Marcell Ozuna's had a career year, breakout year. Giancarlo Stanton's doing the exact same thing. D. Gordon's getting ready to steal 50 bases. Oh, by the way, Christian Yelich is an 800 OPS guy, right? I mean, I'm just on and on and on. I mean, there's some things that you can look at them offensively and say they need to do it better. But when they play well, they become one of the better teams in baseball offensively, yes.
So that then leads to the next question. If you like your offense, very good defensive club. Marlins don't make many errors.
The best in the game.
Got a power bullpen that seems to have to be used a lot because of starting pitching. You have Urania, obviously. Straley's been okay, I guess. Not as good in the second half as he was in the first. After that, questions?
Well, there's no doubt there's questions, and that's the reality of it. I don't want to say it's the uncertainty, because it's not. I mean, the reality is this: Jose Fernandez passed away last year, and I think that's what ends up happening, is that the longer we have these conversations, even this year we have them, even when you lose 10 of 11, you know whose name comes back up again is Jose's.
Ground ball hit to short. Dansby got a big hop and flips it over to first. Freeman stretches out and gets Ozuna for the first out.
That's the tough part about it. Ozuna's had a nice couple of ball games. Ground ball to Swanson right there. He's had a nice return himself, Swanson, I believe, since being demoted. He's come back up, played very well for the Braves.
He has a lot more patient at the plate, taking his walks, hitting line drives, a little closer to the plate. And that's been nice to see. You guys are happy to have this guy back too, Justin Bour, a Braves killer.
He reintroduced us, right?
Yeah.
What we missed. We were doing the pregame show today. He's only 2 home runs away from his career high, and I think that's the realization of what a year he's had. Remember the home run derby, and I think there was a lot of excitement about that, and maybe putting Judge down, and Judge beat the number and everything that went into that. And it put Justin Bour out there just a little bit, and then obviously pulled the oblique, and he's missed a lot of time here in the second half. And you'd love to see him really have a nice September for some closure. Good to see him back, be healthy, and finish strong.
What's it like working with Don Mattingly, manager for the Marlins, who had such a great run with the Dodgers, learned from Joe Torre, and of course his great career as a Yankee?
Well, you're talking about one of the best managers in the game as far as his knowledge as a player is concerned. I don't think that there are too many managers. Look at this.
Yelich takes third.
They caught a head down, and a little bit of a delayed steal right there. Watch this. Ball in the dirt. He steals it on the throwback to the mound. Nobody really in position to stop it.
Heads up base running.
Well, the Marlins, I'll give them some credit. I mean, again, they've come in struggling, and they played hard last night. The Braves found a way to walk them off again. They've done that a few times this season. This Marlins team has a great deal of pride. They've fought hard through this losing stretch. And
bouncing ball to first. Runners coming home. Freeman's throw, a laser, and in time. On contact, Yelich broke toward the plate, and Freeman gunned him down with that strong right arm. And that's the second out of the inning. Bohr at first.
Well, that's the hard part of going on contact for Christian Yelich right there. Did everything in his power to gain a break. You see how far down the line. But for Freddie Freeman, it's an easy hop. Didn't have to move to his left. Didn't have to move to his right. That's what you're hoping for, even on contact, is that the infielder has to move a little bit and the throw doesn't become so direct. That is about as easy a play as you're going to get for an infielder throwing home.
So a break for Fultonevich, and that'll bring up JT Realmuto. Are the Marlins going to challenge this call? Do they think Flowers had the plate blocked without the baseball?
And I think that's probably the question, because it's certainly not about the ball beating him, and they are not. They're going to let it go.
So all those points you made about your team, pride and effort, that stems, I'm sure, from Don Mattingly.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I'll tell you, it's been an impressive job that he has done this year. I've even said, locally that, he should be getting more attention as far as manager of the year when you think of and add up everything that this team has done, even to be relevant at this time of the year.
Little pop into shallow center. Ender Inciarte comes in and makes the play, and that retires the side. We'll continue our visit with former Brave Todd Hollandsworth as Atlanta comes up in the home third, down 3-0. Chip Carey and Todd Hollandsworth, who, as he mentioned a moment ago, was briefly a Brave in 2005. It was
right.
During the baby Braves era. You were not a baby Brave. You were a grizzled veteran by the time you got here to Atlanta.
What I was brought in to do. I had a great group of guys, Smoltz and Chipper and everybody. I was brought in to do one thing. Bobby Cox had a unique way of using his pinch hitters, and I think really I just had a hard time adapting to it, which was, you're a pinch hitter. You're not going to play a lot, but you're going to pinch hit for me. And I had come from Dusty Baker, who was using me a little bit more as a pinch hitter. I'd play 2-3 times a week, and then I would pinch hit in between, and I would kind of handled it pretty well.
When you got here, I'm sure everybody has expectations or perceptions about what Bobby Cox and the Braves were like from the outside.
Right.
When you got here and were on the inside for that final 6-week, 7-week period, were your expectations met, surpassed, or were there surprises for you?
Oh, no, they were surpassed. I was very impressed with how the organization was run and how Bobby did things and how the players respected him. I mean, that's not, and I remember I played for 8 organizations over a 12-year career. I mean, to have that kind of respect is not easy to gain, and that's through trust, that is through dedication, that is through longevity. It's through a lot of different things that qualify a manager to be, to gain that type of respect from his players. And there wasn't a man in there that I doubted the respect for Bobby, whether it was a guy who was, a 6-year, 8-year guy, whether it was a 20-year guy like, Smoltz and the other guys, Chipper. or it was a young guy who was getting called up in September, because that's when I was here. They were like, whatever Bobby says goes. That's how this is around here. We do it. You know, if he puts something on a 1-0 pitch, we do it. That's
right.
The way it works.
And it worked out pretty well for all those years, of course, as Jace Peterson leads off against Jose Urena, and a leadoff walk gets things started for Atlanta. Talk to me about Urena. We know about the numbers. We know about the bullpen to starting rotation conversion. You mentioned the loss of Jose Fernandez. Nobody's going to replace him. But for a Miami team that's looking for homegrown starting pitching, what a find he's turned out to be.
Well, and it's right. And really the story is what do we have in spring training? I mean, there was probably a good chance that not only would he not be on this roster, that he might not even be in the organization, because they needed to put him in the big leagues. And if he wasn't in the big leagues, they had to expose him and take him off the roster. So they kept him on the roster, started him out in the bullpen, moved him to the rotation, and he has just taken off. And it's, and to me, in my eyes, again, I haven't watched the last few seasons of Jose Urena, but what has been impressive, two things that really stand out. He pitches to contact as well as anybody. 250 batting average on balls in play. That's absolutely outstanding. That's top 10 stuff.
Butt popped up, and he's going to flip to Gordon, who got to the bag a little late. As Jace Peterson dives back, Fultonevich can't get the bunt down. And there's the first out of the Atlanta third.
He's dealt with failure really well, and I think that's, and I don't mean that in a longevity type of situation. He hasn't lost 5 in a row this year or gone through a really bad stretch, but my point is he's had a couple of starts where things started to kind of work against him. He's recovered, like in this second half. I mean, if you saw him in the first half, you say he's got a good 4-seam fastball that don't even worry about the 2-seamer, because he can't throw it for a strike. And he's got a good slider and a good changeup. Well, here in the second half, he's worked really, really hard on his 2-seam fastball. He throws it more than his 4-seamer now. It's actually a very, very good pitch for him. It's his primary fastball. And then again, the secondary pitches have been as well. So he's made adjustments as the season has gone on, which have been impressive. He's just not cruising along on talent right now. He's learning how to be a pitcher, how to go longer into games. Last start's a good example. He's probably going to get pinch hit for in the 5th inning.
Okay.
Got to the 8-hitter. Didn't get to hit. Don sends him back out. Ends up going another couple of innings. Pitches well, ends up picking up a win. Ends up going 7 innings. A lot of starters, you know, they kind of check out. Oh, I'm coming out of the ball game. No, he stayed ready. He was ready in the dugout. He went back out there and probably threw the 2 best innings, were the 6th and the 7th, than anything he'd done 1 through 5, and that's why he was being considered to take out of the ball game, because he was just pitching okay that day. But then he got it together and pitched well and put out a 7-inning start.
A lot to like for Jose Urena, who faces Ender Inciarte, Braves All-Star, Gold Glove winner himself. And like Christian Yelich, I'm sure you guys admire and enjoy watching this guy play.
Well, he's already made a couple of great catches in the outfield tonight. This guy is just throws hits out like they're nothing. I was reading some quotes about Brian Snitker had mentioned that Inciarte was using his hands. I think it was last week, and I was kind of curious to see it, because I think it was the game he had a doubleheader. He 8 hits in the doubleheader
against the Phillies, and
he was talking about just using his hands. And I saw it in last night's ball game on a base hit that he had to left field. No legs, no lower half. He was really just trying to shorten up and put the ball in play, and had a breaking ball working away, and he just dropped the barrel on it and lined it to left field. And it's like simplifying hitting, and it brought me back to my Tony Gwynn days, and I got to see an awful lot of him in LA, and I see that in him. I mean, he's got those kinds of hands, line to line, can hit for a little bit of power, and he's a tremendous defender in center field. I think the Braves are going to be thrilled with this kid for a long time.
He's only 8 hits behind Charlie Blackmon, who leads. Well, he was 8 hits behind at the start of action tonight. Now 10 behind him, with D. Gordon and Marcell Ozuna also in that top 5 among hits leaders in the National League. And they're trying to become the first Brave since Marquise Grissom to get to 200 hits this season. He's got a great shot.
He sure does. That kind of hot stretch again. I believe he did this in the second half last year, if I remember correctly. He got hot like this where he was on just a mad tear.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So what's ahead for the Marlins? I would imagine this final 3-week stretch, guys are auditioning for opportunities. We've heard about the ownership change. We don't know what that's going to mean for the ball club, but put your GM hat on, if you will. What do the Marlins need to do to take advantage of this offense that they feature and be relevant for a whole season in the National League East next year?
Individually, they're going to try and finish strong. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, they're going to try and pick up some wins. Obviously, they'd love for the guys in the rotation who are getting the opportunities, the Peters of the world, who's been given a couple of starts, Dillon looks good. He's got a good breaking ball. He's made a couple of starts. Urena, you want to see him finish strong, and obviously a lot of these offensive guys. But as far as the question and answers are concerned, and you're right about the Christian Yelich thing, I don't think many of us really know. I mean, you know, you hear the stories, you hear the reports, and you know the stuff that's out there, and you know, you hope that this team can add. You know, some I mean, because you know, as we've just talked about over the last inning, they're a really talented group, and you feel like, you know, maybe they're a few pieces away. Yeah, it's not always going to be the best rotation in baseball, but you realize there was a moment here this year. This is a team that absolutely buried itself in May and then dug back out of that hole and made themselves relevant here late in the year. It doesn't mean you're going to go out and win the division, but it does mean you can compete. If you start back over again, there's got to be just a heartfelt plan and a commitment to the community, because you'd have to explain it to them again. Hey, we're rebuilding and we're asking you to buy into it.
How about that pitch from Urena to strike out Inciarte? His first strikeout, as you said, Todd, pitching to contact, but when he needs to, he can get a big strikeout.
Well,
he just did.
He's got a great changeup, and again, you see it a lot of times to the left-handed hitter fading off that outside corner at 87 miles an hour. It's good stuff. Urena keeps that in his back pocket. Doesn't throw it a whole lot, but when he does, it's usually a pretty effective pitch.
So 40 pitches for Urena tonight. He's got a 3-0 lead, and Ozzie Albies the batter. He bounced one back up the middle his first time, and he hits one to D. Gordon his second time, and that will retire the side. Todd, it's great to see you, man. Welcome to Atlanta. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Once a Brave, always a Brave.
That's right.
One of the good guys and one of the voices of the Miami Marlins. Todd Hollandsworth. Joe and Tom will rejoin me for the 4th inning. Hopefully the Braves can hold the Marlins right where they are. It's 3-0 in Game 2. The Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves, presented by Kaiser Permanente. Good to have Joe and Tom back from their exile to the Marlins booth. It's 3-0 after 3 here in Game 2 before a nice crowd at SunTrust Park tonight.
Yeah, real good crowd.
Gotta go over there.
I learned something. I didn't know broadcasters use makeup.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was asking if I was supposed to use some of Todd's makeup that's over there, but apparently.
I just figured we knew we didn't need it. That was all that was.
That's probably it.
Or there wasn't enough to help.
Maybe. That too. And
take your pick.
Yeah.
We'll let the audience decide.
And Rich is way healthier than we are. He's got a little canister of strawberries over there for a snack.
What?
We're getting nachos and cheeseburgers and.
Oh, we got the Burgerizza coming later.
Oh boy.
Or Burgerzilla. What is that called? Burgerzilla? Oh, it's the Burgerizza. Oh yeah, it's a burger.
Sounds healthy.
Yeah.
Low calorie.
You just wait.
Ichiro leads off for Miami. He walked and scored, and he's going to hit a grounder to Ozzie at second, and there's the first out. Funny how one sequence can maybe change the game for a starting pitcher, Tommy, and it was the walk to Ichiro that has sort of led to the last couple innings for Mike that I've seen him surrender 2.
Yeah, a little bit of the unraveling, and the walk to each row. He's struggled against lefties this year. Lefties are hitting 310 or so against him, and so he struggled. And then you walk a guy, and then the next thing you know, you give up a base hit to a guy that's struggled all year, and then a base hit to the pitcher, and it's just kind of that snowball effect. So as we've talked about, not only with wanting to win the game and the work the Braves have done in the latter part of the game, keep it manageable, give that back end of the game a chance. You also want him personally to do that. Like we talked about, you want to end the season on a good note. You want to get things back on track, and this is part of that learning process. Things clearly are not going your way. Find a way to stay in the game and get after it.
1 ball, 1 strike to Miguel Rojas, who knocked in the first Marlins run with his first hit of the season against the Braves. And now 3-1 before the pitcher comes up. There's a good offering. It's a full count.
That was a great 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, and it is a great 3-1 pitch, but that's the reason why he struggles against lefties, because he doesn't have that weapon against a lefty. Lefty's not going to swing at that pitch.
Driven foul.
The pitch you're talking about is that pitch Urania threw to Ender Inciarte to strike him out.
And Mike's got a good changeup, but A, he's got to use it more, and B, he's got to establish his fastball to lefties more in order to get guys to swing at that pitch.
Here comes the payoff to Miguel Rojas, and out of play. Yeah, and a great crowd tonight. Texted Beth Marshall earlier tonight in the Braves media relations department. Hope to get a turnstile count on the number of folks who took advantage of the very generous offer for the displaced families from Hurricane Irma in Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia. That offer continues all weekend. As that one's right down Broadway, and Rojas watched it sail by for strike 3. A lively crowd tonight.
Yeah, Mike would like to see a little offense, get him really cranked up. He hasn't had a run scored for him in his last 2 starts.
Cubs beat him 2-0 in Chicago. Miami's ahead 3-0 here in the 4th. One of the big hits in the game, the RBI single by Urania, who has 4 hits this year, 2 of them against Fultonevich. And opposing pitchers are putting a hurting on the Braves this year. Opposing pitchers have 42 hits and 20 RBIs.
That's unbelievable.
No balls, 2 strikes. And Tyler couldn't hang on. That's fouled at the plate.
I'll say this for Urania, he is right on top of the plate. You don't see too many pitchers crowding home plate.
That's outside. Urania looked like he was walking to the dugout.
I think everybody thought it was a strike except the umpire.
So Mike has to throw another one here. The pitch. Did he go? Guess not. 2-2. That looked like it hurt.
Came up, hit him in the ribs. Dr. D came up to check on him.
Now Mike ready, the glove waggle and the pitch. There's strike three. Urania backed away from the fourth strikeout for Mike Foltynewicz. Heart of the order coming up for Atlanta. Freddie Freeman, Matt Kemp, Tyler Flowers are scheduled to hit for the second time. It is 3-0 Fish. Inside the left field gate at SunTrust Park and find out how to get a free t-shirt and learn more about Chevrolet's award-winning lineup. Make sure to check out the 2017 Chevy Colorado and all new 2018 Chevy Equinox on display. Plus weekend games, fans can get a free commemorative picture taken with the Braves wrapped Chevy Silverado High Desert Edition located outside of the left field gate. Georgia Drive Chevy, find new roads.
There are a lot of those in the ballpark. Those claim to be the biggest.
It's all right, guys, at the right time for Atlanta. Freeman, Kemp, and Flowers.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Urania to see if his side is okay.
One more warm-up toss, then he'll be ready to go for the Atlanta fourth. Freddie flat out to left. That ended the Braves' first inning. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. Urania ready. Here it comes. And downstairs, ball 1. That's into the crowd, out of play, even count. Washington's home tonight. They're beating the Phillies 7-3. Phillies had a 3-0 lead in that game. It's down and away. Max Scherzer's the man on the mound for Washington. Keep an eye on Odubel Herrera. He's got a 20-game hit streak working for Philadelphia.
Gosh, some of that had to be before he got hurt, right? Picked up where he left off.
Yep. In the air, left center field, pretty deep. Yelich back at the fence, leaping try, not gonna get it. It's an opposite field homer for Freddie Freeman.
Another chance for those Freeman fans to shine with their sign. A little mislocation there.
Well, he's averaging a home run every 14.8 at bats, the best mark of his career. That one gives the Braves their first run, his 25th of the year, and the 21st allowed by Jose Urena. Matt Kemp, the batter. And he fouls one back to the screen. It's 0-2. Nasty pitch down and in, strikes out Kemp. So Urena with a comeback after the Freeman homer. 1 in, 1 out for Tyler Flowers.
Yeah, there is nothing you can do with this pitch. Fastball starts on the inside corner, maybe at the knees, and just runs out of the zone. Good spot.
Tyler Flowers, as Joe mentioned, snapped his 0 for 15 with a second inning hit. And that's taken for a ball. Braves are going for their 31st comeback win tonight. They're down only 2 runs now, as that one is bounced off Urena, who misplayed it. He picked it up off the body and he bends at the waist. It's been a tough inning for him at the plate, now in the field. Let's see where this ball got him.
Yelling at his glove.
Yeah. I think he's just mad he didn't catch it clean. I think it was a little bit of a changeup. Like he thought it was hit harder than it was.
And off the chest.
Off the chest.
And I love it. He makes the play and then he bends over at the waist like, it's just not my day. So 2 outs after the homer. Rio Ruiz, the batter. He reached on a force play. And that's taken low, ball 1. We'll keep an eye on the Indians game tonight. Cleveland's going for their 16th consecutive victory. They are hosting Baltimore tonight, and they're leading 3-0 in the 6th inning. Arizona plays later tonight. The Diamondbacks go for their 14th win in a row. As Rio takes ball 3 outside with Dansby Swanson next. You guys would hear what happened to a Cleveland window company with their win streak?
No.
They had a promotion that any fans who bought window products for them in the month of July. Here's the pitch, which is hammered toward Ichiro in right. He's there and makes the play. And we'll have to finish that story when Miami comes to the plate in the 5th inning. The old Vin Scully rule caught us again. Atlanta gets a run on Freddie Freeman's leadoff homer. 3-1 game. 3-1 Miami as we head to the 5th inning. D. Gordon's going to lead off for the Marlins. He's 0 for 2. He's hit the ball in the air twice. Quickly back to that Cleveland story. There's a local window company that offered any of their customers who bought any kind of product from them in the month of July, if the Indians went on a 15-game winning streak from August 1st to the end of the season, they would rebate every single penny of anybody's purchase.
Wow.
To the tune of $1.7 million. As this ball is hit toward third and foul.
Wow. Wow.
So, you know, like the hole-in-one insurance that golfers have, company paid $75,000 in insurance to cover the $1.7 million, and it paid off. So there was one family that did $34,000 worth of window replacements in their house. Cha-ching, they're getting a check to pay it back.
Man.
Gordon's down on strikes. And there's the 5th strikeout for Mike Foltynewicz. Well, our folks at the Delaware North Group came through for us. Executive Chef Rory Bancroft came through. Look at what is in front of Tom and Joe. Look at that.
Soon to be in front of Tom and Chip.
Might be the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. That is the Burgerizza.
I don't know where to start. I mean, how do you?
It's pepperoni. I see bacon under there too. With the burger in between the layers of pizza. And he did point out that it's only pepperoni pizza, as you were wondering last night.
Right. No Hawaiian, no veggie, none of that healthy stuff.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Let us know what you think.
I mean, Tom, you're a man of few words. Here's your perfect opportunity to use the time.
Yeah.
That's not all they brought us.
No. Those nachos look real good too.
We got, I mean, what's better than a baseball helmet full of nachos? Joe wants those. Okay.
Those coming that down here.
And last but not least, which is really good.
Yes.
Brisket Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Oh, that's good.
And the curly fries.
Yeah. Thank God we got out of the Marlins booth.
Ground ball to third. Rio, nice play. Got Dietrich. Who hit a homer his last time up.
Yeah, all they had over there was water and mints.
Yes.
This guy has really been putting on a show at third base too. When he was here earlier in the year, I don't remember him being tested this much like he has been on this homestand. And he's come through with every play.
Christian Yelich doubled. Took third on a soft throw from catcher to pitcher in the 3rd inning. But the baseball gods got him on a ground ball to first. Freddie Freeman threw out Yelich, who was running on contact, to keep the game 3-zip. And a liner over third and into left field. Yelich around first. He thought about running on Kemp, but not got to it in good shape. And it's a long single for Yelich, who just continues to torment the Braves. That's 17 hits against Atlanta pitching for Yelich.
And you can be aggravated at the fact that he fought one off and dumped it out into shallow left field here. But that's not where the other 16 hits were. You know, the guy can just hit.
Yeah.
And he lined to center his first time up, hit a rocket right at Inciarte.
Two guys who know how to use the opposite field talking about that hit. At first base, Freddie Freeman, Christian Yelich, now Ozuna bats. And rolls one, foul at third. Freddie Gonzalez, former Braves manager, makes the play. Well, these are emotional times for Freddie Gonzalez and everybody on that Miami staff and clubhouse with what's happening in South Florida. That has not escaped the Braves coaching staff and playing staff either. And Andre will have more on that story a little bit later on in the game. Great to see Freddie back here in Atlanta. I hope his family is safe and sound. No balls and a strike. Shift on for Ozuna. Watches one skip up there and a snap throw back to first. Big series for the Texas Rangers at home starting tonight. Texas trying to catch either the Yankees or Twins in the wild card race. Game 1 of that series in Arlington is being led by New York 4-1 in the 3rd inning. Tanaka and Martin Perez.
I know what you're talking about, fella.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Foltynewicz up to 6 strikeouts through 5 innings. He is keeping the Braves in this game. It's still manageable. 3-1 Miami.
For the 5th inning, the Braves looking to make up a 3-1 deficit. As I left the ballpark last night, the Marlins were headed to the bus, and I want to remind you that all of the Marlins family members are on this trip too. And I saw strollers and kids, and there are also pets on this trip, so the Marlins reaching out with the impending Hurricane Irma. Of course, the Braves have a connection to South Florida too. They have a lot of them, among them assistant hitting coach Jose Castro, who's from Miami, started in high school down there. He went down to Miami to check on his family today, and we obviously wish the best to him as he waits for the impending hurricane, Chip.
Thank you, Andre. And all of us hope for the best for South Florida and, frankly, South Georgia, Florida Panhandle, South Carolina, as Irma makes her way ever closer to the U.S. mainland. Dansby Swanson leads off for Atlanta, and Dansby 0 for 1 in the game.
He's talking to Donna Hernandez after the game, Chuck's wife, and she had a picture of Nachi, as he's called, Jose Castro, and he was filling sandbags out of sand out of his pickup, getting ready. So we send Jose and his family our best. I'll back that up, and hope you're out of harm's way and stay safe.
Two balls and a strike. And driven out of play, foul. Next stop on this road trip for Miami is Philadelphia. They have an off day Monday in Philly. Then they're supposed to return home for a homestand against the Brewers and the Mets. I'm told that the Marlins have already made arrangements for hotel rooms in Milwaukee in case they're not able to go back to Miami right away at the end of this road trip. That's the great uncertainty as Dansby takes a strike 3 call. That's the great uncertainty the Marlins face. They're going to get back to South Florida. They just don't know when, and like all of us, we don't know what they're going to find.
Very, very unsettling right now in terms of what might happen, and anticipating, as they should in Florida, you know, the worst because of the approaching hurricane and how strong it is.
Jace Peterson with a walk in the third inning. Had a good night last night in his starting assignment for Nick Markakis. May be able to play in a couple of days, as that wrist is problematic for him. He had a diving catch against Texas. The wrist rolled under him. They did CAT scans and the like. No fracture was found, but the wrist was sore. So we'll get a few days to rest and chance for Jace to get some at bats. And he didn't get it. A swing and a miss.
Those last two pitches were absolutely outstanding. Changeup that had real good action on it, but it was 87. It wasn't like a 82-mile-an-hour changeup. And then he came back with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, perfectly placed, that was backing up.
Well, I mean, that's changing speeds, making a guy respect both speeds, and also changing sides of the plate. I mean, you get a hitter that, you know, you get hitters wondering which side of the plate you're going to work on and what speed you're going to do it. It's awful tough.
Yes, it is.
So the strikeout of Peterson, the 100th for Urania this year. And now he's got Mike Foltynewicz way behind in the count, 0-2. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but he's racking them up tonight. In fact, all of his strikeouts have come since the third inning. And he just struck out the side and buzzsawed his way through the Atlanta lineup in the fifth inning. 3-1 Marlins. We're through 5 at SunTrust Park.
Been a beautiful night for baseball. Marlins on top of the Braves in the sixth. Time for an Xfinity game break, and this is a rare sight to see in baseball tonight as Washington is playing host to Philadelphia. Bases loaded for Michael Taylor, and he, well, goes out to center, and then Odubel Herrera with the error in judgment on that play. Everybody's coming around to score, including Taylor. It is an inside the park grand slam. You don't see it very often, but it sure is exciting. Chip, Joe, and Tom.
Wow, I like that though, Jerome. Herrera and the error. Well done.
Phillies trying to come back though in that game, 7-4 in the sixth inning at Nationals Park, with the Nationals. Let's see, let me check this out. With the Braves and Nationals standing in the East, the Braves have been eliminated from the divisional picture. In 2017, they are not yet eliminated in the wild card. But they are way back and way under 500, which is obviously problematic. And frankly, Washington's hoping the Braves have a really good series against Miami. Miami's the second place team in the East. And with a 19-game lead, I think their magic number is something along the lines of 5. So Washington's win last night eliminated the Braves. In the East, Justin Bour, one of Joe's Ford keys, leads off the 6th inning. He's doubled and scored again against Atlanta. First game back from the disabled list.
Made him look bad on that last pitch on something that was a little off speed.
Yeah, one of the few changeups he's thrown to lefties tonight. He's thrown a few to righties.
That was a good two-seamer.
The 2-2 pitch. And Bour fouled it away to stay alive. History in Chicago tonight. The Cubs are hosting Milwaukee. It is the first ever regular season Friday night home game.
You know, I saw that, and A, I couldn't believe it, and B, I want to know why.
City ordinance.
Because I figured it had to be something.
The only exception is for playoff games, and there was some gamesmanship involved in that. That was originally supposed to be an afternoon game. With the Brewers off yesterday, they were in Chicago, ready to go. The Cubs played in Pittsburgh and got home late last night. And while Atlanta was in Washington, they petitioned the city to change the ordinance for a day to give the Cubs a few extra hours of rest in order to get after Milwaukee, the team that's directly behind them in the National League Central standings. 3-2 pitch, and Bour's down on strikes.
There you go. Even see a little fist pump there from Mike. He made some good pitches on off-speed deliveries and good location to Bour.
Good pitch. Third changeup at least of that sequence, and good pitch.
I hope that was a fist pump.
No, that looked like a little bit of a
stretch.
Yeah.
7 strikeouts for Mike. Real Muto, the hitter. A 1 pitch. From what reports I'm hearing too, not only is that Milwaukee Cubs game a big one, there are about 10,000 Georgia Bulldog fans in Chicago for the big matchup with Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a first too, right?
I got a text from Joe McDonough in St. Simons, who obviously got out of town for the hurricane, but he's at the Cub game today. Well, he was at Harry Carey's last night. Cub game tonight, Bulldog game tomorrow, Falcon game Sunday. What a trip.
Oh yeah. And then Weight Watchers Monday.
Yeah. Right?
Weight Watchers and maybe another hyper rehab. I don't know.
Yeah. I've met Joe a time or two. I didn't want to presume.
But yeah.
I think Vince Dooley threw out the first pitch tonight.
That's right.
At Wrigley Field, as Mike is really pitching here in the last couple of innings. And it's 8 strikeouts for him, 3 in a row. Two up, 2 down.
He threw 111 pitches in his last start against the Cubs, 6 1/3 innings.
Downstairs for Ichiro Suzuki. What a marvel this man is. What a career he's had. I think he wants to keep playing. Right there, a strike.
Well, if nothing else, the way he's performed as a pinch hitter, you figure somebody give him a chance.
Sure.
He's 22nd in the history of Major League Baseball in hits.
I think Mike's all right.
I mean, I think so.
I mean, I'm just watching him real close, and he's throwing a lot of those off-speed pitches to left-handed hitters, which we've been talking about. But it seems like pitching coaches and managers, the first thing they look at is a radar gun to see if if they have any suspicions.
Let's check it out on this pitch to Ichiro. He steps out.
You see a little two-seamer down and away right here. Running away.
Nope. Oh, slider in again.
And Ichiro bangs it back to the mound, and Foltynewicz makes the play. 6 innings for Mike, 8 strikeouts. He's down 2 runs. Top of the Atlanta order is coming up against Jose Urena. Let's just say the Freeze didn't have much trouble tonight.
You know when you're driving down the highway and you have a semi go by you and
Yeah, kind of shakes you.
and the draft just kind of blows you around.
The old death wobble.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that guy went down in a heap right in front of the Braves pen.
But he got up and finished the race.
Yes, he did.
So he should get a trophy.
Well, it's getting late for Atlanta. We're in the 6th inning. Top of the order. Ender Inciarte leading off against Jose Urena, who's pitching another good game against Atlanta. He's 1-1 this year, a .250 ERA. The first 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. The run on a Freddie Freeman homer. Three balls and a strike. And caught a corner. Ender didn't think so. Marlins had an amazing stat on this man pitching tonight. The only starters with more wins than Urena's 12 since May 7th are the following. First, the ground ball to second. D. Gordon's got it. Zach Davies, Trevor Bauer, Zach Greinke, and Chris Sale. How about that company for a guy that I bet most people around Major League Baseball have no idea how well this guy's pitching.
6'3", 205. He doesn't look that tall or that big, but he's solid. 26 years old, out of the Dominican.
On try, it's a beauty. It's going to hug the dirt. It's going to stay fair, right on the line. That ball was bobbing and weaving down the third base line, and the infield manicured perfectly for a beautiful bunt hit for Ozzie Albies.
The good thing was it didn't hit the lip of the grass to help push it. It just stayed right there on the dirt.
So a bunt single for Albies brings up Freeman, who represents the tying run. Better high fastball for a strike. That bunt hit gives Ozzie a 7-game hitting streak. And it's the third Braves hit of the game. Way high. 2 balls and a strike.
Freddie beat him on a pitch that he missed on location. He was trying to go away and left it in the middle of the plate. Freddie hit a home run. He's trying real hard to keep everything in on his hands this at bat.
Freeman takes a walk. So a rally for the Braves here in the 6th inning. A bunt single, a base on balls, and Matt Kemp's coming up. That's the second walk for Urania. He's gotten Kemp to ground out and strike out.
But still, he's only at 81 pitches. He's done a great job of being economical inning by inning.
Yeah, he's been very efficient, and that was, to me, that at bat there is as careful as he's been to anybody tonight. That was almost that unintentional, intentional walk. He didn't want much part of Freddie unless Freddie was going to get himself out.
Two on, 1 out, 2-run game. Fouled off Real Muto's glove. Strike 1. Really is pick your poison, I would think, for Urania as he chooses between Freddie Freeman and Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp entered game action tonight 6 for 9 in his career against the Marlins right-hander. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Serves that one to the right side, and Bohr will run out of room. 0-2.
Yeah, and that plays as big a part of it as anything. You know a guy might have a history against you, but in tonight's action, Freddie took me deep, and I got Matt out twice, so I'm going to take my chances with Matt.
Especially on that awesome pitch he used to strike Matt out his last time up.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ooh, far off.
Yeah, Matt may have kind of jammed himself there, but almost a horrible mistake by Urania. Supposed to go down and away and left it up and in. Just bad enough to be good.
Yeah, I just kind of ended up being a backup slider that ended up being front door, which is tough for a hitter to get to.
The 0-2 pitch way outside for Matt Kemp.
Got to be careful here when you've got the tying runs aboard with Real Muto. Freddie can get a big lead because Bohr is way off the line, but this guy something else. He's got 21 caught stealings, 30% of the base stealers he's gotten them, and 5 pickoffs, and all at second base.
Kemp didn't offer. So a full count pitch coming. Tyler Flowers on deck. Braves trying to get it tied or take the lead here. 3-1 in the 6th. Little roller hit slowly towards short. They'll get the out at second. Kemp's at first, Albies at third, and that's the second out, and Tyler Flowers coming up. Tyler Flowers is 1 for 2 in his first game back since his wrist injury.
Tyler looks like RoboCop up there. He's got an elbow guard, he's got a wrist guard, and he's got a plastic guard on his batting glove. I would probably have that kind of gear on too if I'd been hit almost 20 times this year.
Braves catchers 82 combined RBIs this year. Can Flowers pick up Ozzie Albies, who's 90 feet away, representing the second Atlanta run. Two balls, no strikes. There's a pretty pitch, 2-1. Oh, that one almost got away from the pitcher.
Ozzie was paying attention, but so was D. Gordon. D. Gordon was moving in there just in case, as infielders are taught to do, just on that odd chance a throwback might get away.
There's that down and in pitch to a right-hand hitter that's been very effective for Urania tonight. 2-2. And he's coming off a 7-inning, 6-hit, 1-run performance against the Phillies. He's a strike away from 6 innings of 1 run, 3 hits work tonight. In the air toward right field. Ichiro Suzuki near the line is there, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, 2 left for Atlanta. We head to the 7th inning. Miami's still in front.
Is sponsored by your local Ford dealer, and the Georgia Lottery.
Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Andre Aldridge, Chip Carey, the rest of our Fox crew with you tonight on a gorgeous evening in Atlanta. It's 3-1 Miami after 6. MLB.com at Patch, your #1 mobile app for live Braves baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Braves home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Mike Foltynewicz is out of the game after 6 innings of 8 strikeout ball. He'll give way to A.J. Minter, who pitches for the 7th time in the major leagues tonight.
I want to talk about Folty for a second. I thought he did a tremendous job of keeping it on the tracks after the home run by Dietrich in the 3rd inning. He pitched out of trouble after Yelich got on and shut him down over the next 3 innings after that. Kept the game under control. Well done.
First pitch to Rojas is hit in the air toward left center, and Ender is going to catch that, and the shortstop's retired for out #1. The line for Foltynewicz: 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, only 1 walk for Mike, which is always a good sign, and 8 strikeouts. A hit to Urania and an RBI hit at that, and the Dietrich homer in the 3rd inning, the difference in the game to this point. Speak of the devil, here is Urania, the Marlins pitcher, who takes a strike. Right there, strike 2. Tom, how'd you like the burgerita?
Really good. That was really good. Interesting combination. I'm not so sure I would have had those 2 worlds collide, but it was really good.
2 worlds collide.
It's kind of like fish tacos. I mean, I can't. Those 2 worlds. No.
There's another strike to Urania, and there's the first strikeout for Minter. There we go.
Look at me.
Look at that.
I mean, you got to be careful. I think the most remarkable thing is I didn't get anything on my shirt, my tie, nothing. I mean, it was perfect.
I lost my glasses while I was eating.
Yeah, there just weren't. Sometimes there just aren't enough napkins.
There aren't. I mean, you're fighting with the burger. You got pizza sauce going all over you.
Joe's got to get the mic out of the way so he can cram some more nachos in.
You were locked into those things, man. That's great.
I didn't feel like I was eating that fast, though.
It didn't look that fast.
No.
We're going to win an Emmy for eating. I can promise you that.
I have to go on a diet every time I'm getting ready to do games, just so I can play for the tie.
A strike to Gordon. Quickly 0-2.
And he's already planning something for tomorrow night for us.
I know.
I starved myself all day.
0-2 for D. Gordon, and that's off the plate. Gordon's hit the ball in the air twice, and he struck out once. He's got an 11-game hit streak on the line, perhaps in this 7th inning at bat. D. Gordon playing for a club that hits a lot of home runs. May have hit the most emotional home run in Marlins history. First game back after Jose Fernandez passed away. D. Gordon hit a home run off Bartolo Colon in the Mets into the seats in right field, and with tears streaming down his face, circled the bases at Marlins Park. And his hit streak continues with a base hit, down 1-2 in the count.
A.J. Minter last pitched in that game. The Braves won 5-4 when they beat Cole Hamels. Another good example of how tough it is to retire this guy. But Minter, Freeman, Sam Freeman, Ramirez, and Vizcaino that night did a wonderful job. Braves won the game 5-4 after they had scored 5 runs early off of Hamels. Minter gave up a run, but it was after a leadoff triple to Robinson, and then he struck out the last 2 guys. Excellent work by all those guys 3 nights ago.
Ground ball, foul at first. I guess the next test for Minter will be, and we'll see if it happens this year, pitching back-to-back games, right? That's something he has not done since getting called up. He did it in AAA July 23rd and 24th. In fact, that was the first time in his career he had pitched in back-to-back games, and 57 career minor league games. And the Braves very cautious with him as he's coming back from injury. And how about that play by Freeman? A tricky hop on a ball that was hit off the end of the bat, but he stayed with it, knocked it down, picked it up, and retires Dietrich and the Marlins, and that sends us to the 7th inning stretch. Freddie Freeman played it off the right leg, and Atlanta sends Rio Ruiz to the box, down 2. The 7th inning, and it's time for the Toyota Tweet of the Week. This week's question is, which young Braves player are you most excited about and why? Tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag BravesBrightFuture, and your answer could be read during our Braves Live post-game show. Three youngsters are coming up for Atlanta in the 7th. Ruiz, Swanson, and Jace Peterson.
That's a tough question for any of the fans because they've all done real well for themselves and contributed in different ways.
Another day, another award for Braves prospect Ronald Acuna, named Baseball America's Player of the Year today. His combined minor league numbers: a .325 average, 21 homers, 82 RBIs, 44 steals, 31 doubles, 8 triples.
That is some kind of year.
From Class A to AAA, and interestingly, as you see the cover of Baseball America, as he progressed to each level, his numbers got better and then better again. A 19-year-old at AAA with those kind of numbers, you can see why some folks compare him to Andrew Jones.
I'm excited to see him for sure. Ozzie Albies, not that I'm not excited about him. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about, but I think we've seen what he is. I think he's going to be good. I think we know that.
Yeah.
So there's maybe a little bit less intrigue at the moment because we've gotten to see him more. But he's special. He's going to be fun to watch, and I'm interested too a lot in Max Fried. I want to see him I want to see him get out there on the mound a little bit more and get a few more innings under him and see what he can continue to do. I think he's got really good stuff.
Well, you get your chance tomorrow night.
Yep.
He's got the ball for the Braves against Adam Conley, as this one's rolled to D. Gordon. He'll shovel to first and take care of Ruiz for the first out. Sunday, it's R.A. Dickey and Odrisamer Despaigne for Miami. Then we jump on the charter and head up to Washington for another one of our up and back road trips. 3 games against the Nationals starting on Tuesday. Braves originally scheduled to leave town on Monday, but with Irma bearing down on Georgia as well, the weather in Atlanta is supposed to be very windy and nasty, so the Braves will get out of town before the weather hits Metro Atlanta, Georgia. Here's Dansby 0 for 2.
What'd you guys think of Gohara the other day?
I see what all the excitement's about.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought for his first outing there were some really good things to like, especially how that 97-mile-an-hour fastball was coming out of his hand with almost no effort. Also 20 years old.
How about that swing? Sky Ureña's got good stuff tonight. 3 hits. That's all he's given the Braves.
Yeah, he's locating and he's changing speeds really well. Used his slider and changeup, complement his fastball.
For me, with Gohara, I like the fact that he had 4 pitches. We've seen Sean Newcomb, for example, to compare those 2 guys. Both throw in the mid-90s. Both have good curveballs. Difference for me is that Gohara's got a little bit of a changeup and that slider, which Joe's talked about and mentioned. Ted Simmons said would be a useful pitch for Newcomb to try to pick up at some point.
Yeah, it's a good slider.
Right side, Bohr near the Braves dugout railing. And by Andre, who came away unscathed. Question for you guys. Noting the dugout railings.
I noticed that
those used to be green. Now they're red. They've been that way now for a while. Wonder what necessitated that change.
I don't know. Maybe to let you know you're coming up on some stairs, make you more aware.
Something about OSHA jumps out at me. I'm not sure.
I mean, that would be my initial reaction, much like a warning track. You know, you're coming to the wall. I'm sure you get over there to the dugout and you can kind of, everything's the same color. You kind of get lost in where you are. At least when you see the red out of the corner of your eye, you probably know, all right, I'm getting near some stairs.
We talked about that on the road some time ago, Tommy. Can't remember which ballpark it is. Milwaukee, maybe, that has the big gap.
San Diego.
San Diego. Why not just have a swinging gate there?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the stairs. Pulled foul by Dansby. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Good at bat. Another good at bat for Swanson. More pitches last inning because he gave up a base hit and a walk back to back, and then made good pitches to retire Kemp and Flowers. Had to work a little harder.
And he lost Dansby. So again, the Braves will have a chance to tie the game. Jace Peterson's coming up.
Talking about young players as Mattingly comes out of the dugout. Our SunTrust confidence play. We're talking about our focus tonight on one of the young lads, Ian Anderson, who was the first-round pick by the Braves in -- the 3rd overall pick, just 19 years old. He was at Rome, 3.14 ERA, 43 walks to 100 strikeouts, 101, and pitched well down the stretch.
Yeah, he did. And I know that's a guy that the organization obviously is very excited about and feel as though he is very polished with a very easy delivery at 19 years old, which is certainly a huge plus for him.
The electronic chop is working here at SunTrust Park. The lights are dimmed. Ureña is out of the game, and the Braves are down 2. Tying run coming up. This week on ACC Saturdays on South, brought to you by Ford. Catch the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. They take on the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. The action kicks off tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
The Sooners got a big game this weekend, huh?
Big one tomorrow.
What time's that game?
I think 6:30 at Ohio State.
This is Harlan Garcia. Lane Adams will come on and pinch hit.
Garcia worked here last night. Gave up a hit to Inciarte. Struck out Albies. Got Freddie to ground out. Oh.
And he just got hit by a pitch. That helps. And that'll bring Adonis Garcia to the plate. So Garcia from Minter, who worked a scoreless one-hit inning of relief with a strikeout.
Right on the knee. Tying run aboard, and he's a fast runner.
So here we are, fellas. 7th inning. Braves bench in play. You see the numbers for Adonis Garcia. 41 games before tendon surgery on his ring finger. Knocked him out for Atlanta. And a swinging butt. That's tough play. Garcia's got to hurry. Throws low, and Bohr dug it out on a short hop. What a pick.
That was a heck of a pick.
That could have been golden for Atlanta. But Bohr does it with the glove as well as the bat tonight, and that's the 2nd out.
That wasn't a short hop. That was a long hop. And saved Garcia here, who had to hurry.
Yeah, that had triple down the right field line written all over it. That's a heck of a play.
You're right. Caught the lip of the grass, not the dirt. So Bohr bails out the pitcher, and now it's a lefty-lefty matchup with Ender coming up. Ender's 0 for 3 in the game.
Ender served a base hit to left off of him last night.
And look at where DIETRICH is playing at third base. I mean, he is good 8-10 feet in on the grass.
Yeah, if that were the tying run, I'd understand it, but I don't get it with that runner at third only being the 2nd run. He backs up a little.
Lefties ordinarily don't give Ender a ton of trouble. He's hitting over 300 against left-handed pitching. 304 to be exact. And 13 of his 53 runs batted in.
Yeah, with 2 outs in the inning, I don't think Ender's enough of a bunt threat on a consistent basis to be worried about that right now.
And isn't it funny, the lefty-lefty matchup? Garcia's quickly gone 3-0 with Albies waiting on deck. A 1-out walk chased Urania.
Perfect time to guess, if you want to guess. 3-1 and look for something to hit that chop house.
And Ender takes a walk. The Braves have loaded the bases.
I don't think that's what Don Mattingly had in mind.
Nope.
Monye was out to talk to him. Got bailed out on the swinging bunt, but a hit batsman and a walk on each side of that.
So it's there for the taking for Atlanta with 2 outs in the 7th. Bases are loaded, and Ozzie Albies is the batter. Look what he's done in his last 14 games. He had a huge hit in the 9th inning last night.
And his damage, his long ball damage, has been done primarily right-handed.
Didn't get that one, however. Strike one.
Smart pitch there. Walk a guy. Hitters aggressive, runners in scoring position. You know they're going to be looking for you to throw a fastball to get back in the zone and drop the changeup on them.
That's rolled foul at third base. And now the Braves are down to their final strike in the 7th. The 0-2 pitch. It's a one-hopper to D. Gordon. The flip to second. Close play. And Ender just beaten to the bag after D. Gordon handled that hot shot off the bat of Ozzie Albies. Braves can't cash in. A bases loaded chance in the 7th. 3-1 your score. Let's join Jerome for tonight's showstopper.
Okay, thank you, Chip. Tonight's showstopper. A couple aces out there. They're not really stopping a whole lot. Chris Archer up in Boston. How about this? Mookie Betts takes him deep. 8 runs, 6 of them earned on 9 hits, 5 walks over just 3 innings. Nick Green, 81 pitches over 3 for Archer, not very good.
You know, he baffles me too. He has such great stuff. ERA over 4 last year, 4 ERA this year. I just don't get it.
Yeah, Boston on top, 8-2 in the 7th. Marcus Stroman a little better, but still not good. 4 runs on 6 hits. Did strike out 6 over 6. You see him get Kinsler here and James McCann. The Castellanos with the slam in the 3rd. This one, however, it's kind of interesting. Detroit, it just went final. Tigers win it up there in Toronto tonight by a score of 5-4. Max Scherzer, though. Max Scherzer was pretty good. He did give up 3 runs in the 1st inning. No question about it. And here you go, Nick Williams will go deep with this 3-run shot. But he settled in nicely after that. And, of course, we showed you earlier in the game tonight the Michael Taylor inside the park grand slam. Trey Turner also went deep the traditional way. And Scherzer kind of settled in there. And then Herrera, not in the box. But umpire Jeff Kellogg says, I don't care. You get in the box. You got to be ready.
He has 239 strikeouts. If I'm in the box against Scherzer, I'm ready to hit. You can't get in the box against Scherzer, not be ready to hit. He leads the National League in strikeouts. Hey, if you're in there, you got to be ready.
Chip, Joe, and Tom, I told Nick Green anytime he comes out to this set, be ready to talk. He said he wasn't ready for this update, but he hit it out of the park. The true professional. Back to you guys.
He's amazing. It must be the glasses, Jerome. That's what got Nick Green through the segment. You know, Nick bears a striking resemblance to Clark Kent. Don't you think?
Yes, he does.
So out on the set, he is our Fox Sports Superman. As we welcome you back to our booth, Jose Urena pitched like Superman tonight. He has been excellent against Atlanta. He was so far tonight. 7 1/3 innings of 1-run ball.
Yeah, he threw the ball well, like we talked about. Located well on both sides of the plate. Used his off-speed pitches really well. Made the one mistake to Freddie, but yeah, he was good tonight.
As we've seen him all year long, this is his 4th start, and they've all been good.
And Mike Fultonevich for the Braves gave up a couple of runs early. Braves didn't give him any run support, but again, incremental progress for Mike. His last 3 starts, Joe, pretty effective.
Effective, but I just liked the most tonight. I liked about how he hung in there after he gave up a couple runs. Then the home run to Dietrich, and he actually pitched his best baseball after the home run, I thought.
Yeah, as I gave up the home run, gave up the double to Yelich, and then that was it. Something clicked and pitched well, and certainly given the Braves a chance to win this game.
So Christian Yelich leads off. Dan Winkler is the Atlanta pitcher. Let me correct myself. It was 6 1/3 innings for Urena tonight, but still only 3 hits allowed. He's in line to win the game as Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, and Justin Bour go to work for Miami. Saw Lane Adams taking over in right field for Jace Peterson. And Christian Yelich, 2 more hits against the Braves tonight. Gives him a total of 81 hits against the Braves since 2014. That's more than anybody else in the major leagues. He's up to 290 for the season. The pitch is laced foul and out of play.
First-round draft pick in 2010. He was the 23rd pick of the draft that year. And he's a big, tall, lanky guy, as you can see. 6'4", listed at 200. He looks a little bigger than that. Out of Thousand Oaks, California.
That bounced up there to Yelich. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cleveland's an out away from their 16th consecutive win. They're beating Baltimore at home 5-0.
I don't know that I ever remember a year where you had 2 teams going on the run that Cleveland and Arizona are going on right now.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
That just missed.
We showed that graphic earlier of teams that have been on those types of winning streaks in recent memory, and the Braves had one in 2000. And you and I were curious, what did that do for their standings that early in the year, because it was April. And that made them 20-6. Made your team 20-6 at the end of that, and already had a 5-game lead over the Mets.
Full count to Yelich. And strike 3 outside corner. Winkler hit the glove, got the call. And that's 10 strikeouts of Marlins hitters in the game.
Here are those teams. Last 5 teams with 15 straight wins. Cleveland just made it 16 in a row. That game is over. And then you go over there to the Braves in 2000 from April 16th to May 2nd. And had already established a 5-game lead. That's kind of nice early in the year.
Marcell Ozuna. Well, to put it in perspective for Arizona, 13-game winning streak, right? The Dodgers were so hot and now are so cold that even by winning 13 consecutive games, Arizona's picked up 11 games in the standings. But they start play tonight 10 games out.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that just tells you how good the Dodgers have been over the long haul.
But LA is struggling right now. They've lost 12 out of their last 13 games. They get a big lift before their game against Colorado tonight. Corey Seager's back.
That will make a difference.
He's been out with a bad right elbow. And as good as the Dodgers have been all year, they're 10-15 in games that Seager does not start this year. And he'll be back at it against Germán Marquez. Yu Darvish will pitch at Dodger Stadium a little later. 2 balls and a strike for Ozuna. Base is empty. Shift on. He hits it the other way, of course. And Lane Adams in the outfield puts it away for the 2nd out. And here's Justin Bour. One of Joe's keys for Mike Foltynewicz. He's back, he said. And Bour is 1 for 3 against the Braves. A 2nd inning double, the first hit of the game. And he blistered a fastball and hit it to right center field and scored on a Miguel Rojas base hit. Miami got 2 in the first, 1 in the third. They haven't looked back. Atlanta's run on a Freddie Freeman homer in the 4th inning. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Texas has come back to tie the Yankees in the 5th inning. 5-5 in Arlington.
They've got the firepower to do that.
I was going to say, I haven't gotten to see them much this year, but certainly watched when they were here. Man, do they have some boys that can hit the ball.
And as Joe and I were saying in that series, Tom, they are not a group that chokes up and hits the ball the other way with 2 strikes.
No. Every pitch is a potential home run count.
Right? We were joking. You can't even play for them if you don't have 16 home runs.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing job that they've done, even after trading Yu Darvish. He's now a Dodger. The pitch around the plate, 3-1. Wild card race in the American League, still a delicious, delightful mess. A lot of teams within striking distance. 8 teams within 4 games of the 2 wild card spots.
Yeah, but you can't afford to even slip a little bit. Like Seattle's lost 3 in a row. They were off yesterday, but they lost 3 in a row, and now they're 4 back and have a lot of teams to climb over. So when that happens and teams start getting in front of you, it makes it doubly tough.
And for Texas, they have to catch Baltimore, Los Angeles, and Minnesota before they even think about the #1 wild card, which is the Yankees. But the advantage for Texas, they've got the Yankees head-to-head at home.
And Seattle's playing LA, playing the Angels head-to-head.
The Angels a game behind Minnesota. Minnesota winning tonight 6-2 over Kansas City.
I'm impressed with the Twins and how they're hanging in there.
Yeah, big time.
Out of play. It's a full count.
Happy for Paul Molitor. He's done a great job managing that club. To me, the Twins and the Brewers are a lot alike. They're small market teams. They don't get a lot of attention where they are geographically, and yet they're still competitive. And for the Twins, they're where they want to be. Brewers are not too far out in the wild card.
Full count pitch. Asked Drew to check it out for us. You know what Bartolo Colon's record is with the Twins?
No.
4 wins, 3 losses, and a .394 ERA.
He's
in the American League with the DH.
He's been pitching well.
So he's helped Minnesota. As Winkler turns it loose and missed outside. Bohr takes a walk. Haven't had many walks tonight. Foltynewicz had excellent control. It's only the 2nd free pass the Braves have given up. 1 to Bohr, 1 to Ichiro Suzuki. And the inning continues with JT Realmuto. Keep it right here and hope the Braves bats can do something in the 8th and 9th. Freeman, Kemp, and Flowers, the trio coming up for the Braves next. And the pitch popped up by Realmuto into shallow right. Ender Inciarte in right center comes over, gathers it in. And Winkler a scoreless inning of relief. Braves are down 2 runs. Freddie Freeman's accounted for the lone Braves tally, a 4th inning homer. He leads off the home 8th in game 2 between the Braves and Marlins at SunTrust. Comcast building beyond the right field seats here at SunTrust Park. Perfect night for baseball in every respect but the score. Miami leads 3-1. Braves have but 3 hits, but they've got their 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up with a chance to get it tied and beat the Marlins late for the 2nd straight game. 25 homers for Freddie Freeman. Remember, he missed 40-something games with a fractured wrist, and the shame of it for Freddie was the time of his injury. He was beginning what looked to be a pace for an MVP caliber season in the National League.
So Tyler Moore's checked in defensively at first base.
Replacing the guy who's made the defensive gem of the night.
Right. That was just what I was thinking. Man, oh man.
Bouncing ball, that's off the pitcher's body. D. Gordon charges, bare hand, throw, no throw.
Good way to start it.
That'll bring the tying run to the plate, and it might bring Don Mattingly to the mound because Matt Kemp, a right-hand hitter, is due next, and it will. That'll be all for Harlan Garcia. He went 2/3 of an inning. He's allowed a hit batsman, a walk. So the Braves doing what they seem to do nightly, trying to pick up a late inning comeback, tying runs in the batter's box. Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves, presented by Kaiser Permanente. Braves trying to come back here in the 8th inning. Freddie Freeman with an infield hit is aboard for Matt Kemp, and he'll face Drew Steckenrider. Out of the Miami pen, he's the second reliever to work.
He was in line for the win last night had the Braves not rallied, and he only faced one batter, and that was Matt Kemp. Struck him out looking in the 7th last night. His last name sounds like a rock band. High 90s fastball and a slider.
Drew's an Atlanta native out of Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross. An 8th round pick by the Marlins in 2012. He's pitched roughly 240 minor league innings, and now he's in the big leagues with the Fish.
And pitching well.
He's big boy, 6'4", 238 pounds. And the 1-2 pitch for Matt Kemp with Freeman at first. bat didn't get a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So he strikes out for the second time in the game. 1 on, 1 out. And Tyler Flowers, the hitter.
High target, high delivery.
Yeah, good pitch after that 2-strike slider. He tried to get Matt to chase down. Come back with the fastball up. Tough to lay off.
Tyler, a late swing, fouled that off. Four hits for Atlanta tonight. And the 0-1 pitch is out of play. Announced crowd tonight 30,056. On Friday night. Very different game than the one we saw last evening. Saw the Braves and Fish combined for 11 runs and 22 hits. Tonight, into the 8th inning, 4 total runs, 11 total hits. Tyler didn't chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he chased a high fastball. Strikeout stuff always plays in late inning relief assignments, and Steckenrider punches out the first 2 with high heat.
As you've said before, Tommy, that's not an easy pitch to deliver on. He's doing a fine job.
He's executed them both perfectly.
So Rio Ruiz will bat with a man at first. And then he drops that pitch. A slider. Strike 1. Rio trying to keep a 6-game hitting streak alive in this at bat. He's 0 for 3 so far in the game. Pulled foul past Eddie Perez, who skips the rope.
Well, we'll see if he'll make it 3 high fastballs for the put away pitch. It worked on right-handed hitters.
We're about to find out.
Yep.
Full count. Freddie's running, and Rio skies it foul.
Again, we were wondering, or I was wondering about why Dietrich was playing in on Inciarte a minute ago. Same thing here. Now they're going to change. Tyler Moore was holding Freddie, and his run doesn't mean anything. Now they're going to go to a more defensive alignment and play behind him.
Yeah,
on a 3-2 count.
I wasn't quite sure why they were doing that, but
ground ball hit towards second, and D. Gordon makes the peg to first. The man with a rock and roll sounding name had the amp dialed up to 11. Very impressive inning for Steckenrider. Braves out of luck in the 8th. It's 3-1 Miami. month begins mid-September, and from the 15th through the 17th, we invite you to join us in celebrating Hispanic heritage through baseball during our Braves-Mets series all weekend long on Fox Sports South, presented by the Georgia Lottery. Well, good pitching tonight. Unfortunately for Miami, 3 early runs has been too much to try to get back against Urena, Garcia, and Steckenrider so far. Rex Brothers had a great 9th inning last night. He struck out the side. He'll try to hold him right there and give the Braves one more crack at him in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Oh man, did he just blow through him last night.
So Ichiro Suzuki will lead off. He walked and scored the second Marlins run. He's without Giancarlo Stanton tonight. Day off for him. I think he played something along the lines of 45 out of 46 games for them. Figure he'll be back and ready to go against Max Fried here tomorrow night. Atlanta will face Adam Conley in the 3rd game of the homestand series with Miami. A shot the other way. Dansby's got it. Nothing he can do about it. Infield hit for Ichiro Suzuki, number 4,351 between Japan and the United States, and 3,073 in the major leagues. That puts him 8 behind Cap Anson, who's 22nd on the all-time big league hits list. Just amazing.
Still in great shape. Still runs well, has a good arm, and as you can see, can still hit a little.
He's got a good lead, and a bunt try is foul by Rojas. And Dansby and Ichiro with a little interaction at the second base bag after Suzuki sliced an infield single. Rojas was recalled and reinstated from the DL July 18th. He was out since May 9th with a right thumb fracture. And he scorches this one toward the gap, and that's going to roll for a while. Ichiro on second, on his way to third. Freddie Gonzalez is going to wave him. The throw to Swanson, one hops, throw to the plate, close. Ichiro is safe as the ball got away from Flowers. Brothers backed it up, and Rojas doubles home Suzuki with a big insurance run to make it 4-1 Miami. I didn't think the Braves had a chance to get Ichiro.
I didn't either.
Me neither. But he did make a real wide turn going from second to third. He was way out of the line. Hanging slider from a bunt attempt to an RBI double. See that angle he was taking there was really wide. And a good strong throw by Dansby, but a tough hop to handle.
Well, what a shame. That ball's up another 2 inches. Flowers catches it, maybe tags him out. But no such luck. So Giancarlo Stanton was announced as a pinch hitter and didn't even get to the batter's box. So the Braves said, go to first base. We're not pitching to you. And so he's intentionally walked. And he'll follow Miguel Rojas, the man at second base. So Miami gets an insurance run in the 9th. Top of the order up, nobody out, and runners at first and second. A bunt try is fouled away. Brewers lead the Cubs 2-0 in the 7th inning at Wrigley Field. That is a huge series for Milwaukee. Brewers trying to get a little closer to the Cubs. They're 5 games out in the Central. They have 7 games, including tonight's left, head-to-head with Chicago. No balls, 1 strike.
Oh, that's a good pitch.
Miami's trying to snap a frustrating losing streak. Frustrating in that they had not been scoring hardly any runs at all in their last 10 games. Last night they score 5 runs, bang out 10 hits, but the Braves walk them off in the 9th. And that loss was the Marlins' 5th in a row.
Yeah, they'd gotten themselves back in the wild card hunt a little bit, but falling back off.
They just kind of ran out of gas, Tom. Those 3 outfielders play every day, every inning. Pitchers got worn down a little bit. They have no discernible organizational depth that they can call upon to really fill those gaps when they need to give some guys rest.
Two and 2 for Gordon. And this one's blooped foul at third base. Well, as we said last night, Tommy, they could fix that problem. The question is, how heavy a price are they willing to pay? Which one of their really good players are they willing to give up to get a lot in return and restock their pitching staff, their bench, and as Joe said, their depth?
Yeah, I mean, their hands are going to be a little bit tied. I mean, I don't know that you'll get much in return for somebody like Stanton, because somebody's going to have to eat that contract, or you'd want him to, I would think.
All the way to the backstop on the fly. That's about as wild as you can throw one.
Yeah, Tyler turned around to play it off the brick wall, but it hit the screen. Good thing the bull wasn't back there. So a terrific night last night for Rex, and big trouble this evening. Can't throw it far enough inside for D. Gordon. He's going to fight it off somehow.
Got a piece of Mike Muchlinski on its way by. He says he's all right. Again, a 3-2 count for D. Gordon. 2nd and 3rd for Miami. They've scored a run, nobody out. Right back where it came from and into center field. 1 run's going to score. Stanton will be stopped at 3rd.
Smart play there by Ender. Freddie's in to be the relay man, so Gordon can make this huge turn, and any throw, Gordon might go to 2nd. So rather than risk Stanton scoring, he ran the ball in. Look at that. Just picked it off the dirt.
Yeah, his last 2 hits are pretty much just pick it and serve it.
See, Gordon doesn't have to worry about anybody picking him off.
So Dietrich, the scheduled hitter, the Marlins are going to take him down. And once the right-handed pinch hitter Brian Anderson is announced, Brian Snitker will be forced to go to his bullpen for the righty matchup. 2 runs across for Miami in the 9th inning. Nobody out. They now lead the game 5-1.
In the corners, Miami on top by a score of 5-1 coming up on Braves Live. Nick Green is going to break down the night of Mike Foltynewicz after he struggled in that 2nd inning. Was very impressive in his final 3 though to keep it close.
I thought he did a nice job overall. He could have broken. He did not. He went 6 innings. He did a nice job, punch out 6 over the last 3 innings of work. So we have to give Folty some love tonight.
And we'll also take a look at Freddie Freeman's night. And fellas, the first fan that comes up during Braves Live and says, I ate a burgerizza and didn't spill any pizza on myself, gets this one-of-a-kind Nick Green autographed baseball. Back to you guys.
Like it. I like it, Jerome.
Call. Does it have to be a fan? I didn't spill any. I like Nick.
Well, I'd like to see Luke Jackson get out of this mess for the Braves. Brian Anderson will be the first man he faces. Young man had a nice night last night. His first big league RBI in the 1st inning. 4th inning single. He walked, reached on an error, and scored a run. And the Marlins have some decisions to make at third base. What has been an injury-plagued year for Martin Prado. He's owed a lot of money. Don't know if Prado will remain with Miami or they'll try to move him and get some salary relief to go get some pitching. That's why these at-bats and innings for Anderson are so important for Don Mattingly. The pitch a strike. Throw to second is not. And it's a stolen base for D. Gordon. That's number 50 on the year. And that is a big milestone steal for D. Gordon. He's 2nd in the major leagues behind Billy Hamilton in stolen bases. That's his 2nd 50 stolen base year as a Marlin. He joins Luis Castillo, Juan Pierre, and Hanley Ramirez as the only Marlins base stealers with multiple 50 steal years.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed Hanley to have.
Hanley Ramirez,
yeah.
Really?
In 2006 and 2007.
Wow.
And now that Gordon has stolen 50 bases, another great note. First the pitch to Anderson with the infield in. And he bangs it to third. What a pick by Rio. And he holds Stanton at third base.
Great play. Playing in close, hard hit ball and gloved it. In between hop too.
With Gordon getting to 50 steals and Giancarlo Stanton with 53 homers, it's the 3rd time in big league history that a team had one player with 50 homers and another with 50 steals. The '95 Indians were one of those teams. Albert Bell had 50 homers, Kenny Lofton 54 steals, and the 2000 Chicago Cubs had Sammy Sosa and Eric Young with 54 steals. So Gordon and Stanton now part of a trio to have the 50-50. Here's Ozuna. Career year for him. 32 homers, 109 runs batted in.
Yelich drew the intentional pass to load him up.
Ozuna 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
When Jose Canseco had that great year, was that a 40-40 year?
I think. Wasn't he the first to do that?
It wasn't a 50-50 year, right?
No, I think it was 40-40.
Yeah.
Two-0 pitch. You saw the very impressive numbers for Ozuna with the bases loaded.
And Jared confirms it was a 40-40 year. Man, oh man.
Well, now you got to throw a strike. Otherwise, Miami gets another run. The 3-1 pitch. Popped him up. Who wants it? Rio and Flowers. Rio comes over and makes the play. Ozuna pops out with the bases loaded.
Nice play again by Rio. That wasn't easy as far as he had to come.
So Tyler Moore, who came on in the always exciting Moore for Bohr defensive change, gets his first swings tonight. I can guarantee you he's going to be in the lineup on Sunday against R.A. Dickey. He's had exceptionally good luck against R.A. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-1 count. And Jackson paints a corner. So Tyler down 0-2. Here it is upstairs.
Didn't the Nationals have a huge lead over the Phillies tonight?
Yep. Not anymore, huh? 11-10 in the top of the 9th inning. That game at Nationals Park. Washington in the middle of their longest homestand of the year.
Nationals led at one time 10-4. Thought they fixed their bullpen.
Not tonight, they didn't.
As a game started by Max Scherzer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And fouled straight back. Tigers beat Toronto 5-4. Texas now leads the Yankees 7-5 in the 6th.
Boy, that's a nice comeback.
Cubs trail 2-0 in the 8th inning at home with Milwaukee. Mets beat the Reds 5-1. Cardinals 4. Pittsburgh nothing. Don't sleep on the Cardinals. They're getting hot at the right time. They're 3 back in the wild card. Cardinals are also 5 back in the National League Central. They just wrapped up a 7-3 road trip. They have 22 games left against their division. 13 of them are at home. And they've got their sights set on catching a slumping Colorado club.
Well, the Cleveland winning streak includes a road trip where they won like 11 games, 10 games. I don't think that had been done since the 50s.
Well, a note came across after their game 1 final. During their 16-game winning streak, they have 5 shutouts. Steve Clevenger pitched tonight. He has 3 straight scoreless games of 6 innings or better. And during their 16-game winning streak, you ready for this? They've outscored their opponents 114-28.
Goodness.
That's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. And they shut out Baltimore 5-0. Good battle here for Tyler Moore. The pitch. He reaches out, pokes one into right field. That ball is out of the glove of Lane Adams. 2 runs are going to score on a blue hit by Tyler Moore. And it's a 4-run 9th inning for Miami. All 4 of the runs are charged to Rex Brothers.
They're getting a little revenge for last night when the Braves rallied to win in the bottom of the 9th. Just out of the reach of Lane. Good effort. Almost got it.
So Miami opens up a 7-1 lead now. And JT Realmuto is the hitter. Ground ball hit toward third. Rio's got it. Goes the short way to second. And Albies with a backhanded play gets the force. 4 runs scored by Miami in the top of the 9th inning. Last call for the Braves. It's a 7-1 score.
Park on Friday, September the 15th, to celebrate Georgia Tech Night. You get the one-of-a-kind co-branded Tech and Braves hat as part of the special ticket package. If you're a Georgia Tech fan, you're not going to want to miss this. Visit Braves.com/Georgia Tech to get this special ticket pack before it sells out.
Great crowd tonight at SunTrust. Over 30,000 on hand. Brian Anderson, you see, will stay in the game at third base. And Brian Ellington's on for his 32nd appearance. Ellington pitched the 6th inning last night and struck out a man in a perfect frame of work. These are important innings for him as he tries to shave down a high fives ERA here in September.
Nice job by Steckenrider after the single by Freddie, the infield hit. He struck out 2 guys, got a ground ball, got out of the inning.
So Dansby Swanson will lead off for Atlanta. Hits were tough to come by tonight against Jose Urena. He allowed only 3 of them in his 6 1/3 innings. Right now he's in line to win his 13th game. And Dansby has a good cut, fouls that one away right side. Strike 1 for the Brave shortstop.
101 on that one.
Yeah, he can break 3 digits pretty easily.
As we told you, Ellington also a Floridian out of Gainesville.
It makes you feel any better, Tom. His slider's only like 86 to 89.
Yeah. Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. And right off the end of the bat. Lane Adams will hit next, and we'll see for the Braves. And the 0-2 pitch again. Check swing. Right off the mask of Real Muto.
Well, it's not funny, but JT was already had closed his eyes.
Yeah.
He kind of saw what was about to happen.
Pitch number 6 for Dansby coming up. Two balls, 2 strikes. This is what Dansby's been doing an awful lot since he's come back.
Yeah, even on 0-2 counts, he's been able to lay off tough put away pitches.
Spoiled another one. We'll join you a half hour earlier tomorrow night for Game 3. Max Fried, Adam Conley. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch 7:10. And Sunday afternoon, Game 4 of the set. Dickey and Despagne. And how about that at bat for Dansby Swanson? Down 2 strikes, battle back to earn his 2nd walk of the night. And for a team that needs base runners, you appreciate that end result.
A lot of strikeouts for Ellington and a lot of walks. 24th walk in 33 innings. Something you and Rich and I were talking about, Tom. You know, guys that throw hard, locate or unable to locate. Remember how interesting that was and in depth it was? And
it was. I mean, haven't had many conversations like that on air.
It was intriguing.
Just saying.
A shot through the hole on the right side for Lane Adams, a base hit. Well, I'll try to, as you guys were alluding earlier, I'll try to make up for that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So walking a hit. And it's going to be Matt Adams. Well, Matt got it started for Atlanta last night. Braves were down a run in the 9th inning. He hit a double off of Brad Ziegler.
How many times have we seen this, though, Chip, where the Braves trail late and come back, only really to have to come back more than they anticipated because Braves bullpen couldn't hold them.
And a good cut, didn't square it up, fouled away on 100 miles an hour. Yeah, those add-on runs have really been problematic at times for the Braves. They weren't last night. Tonight, 4 broke it open. Miami doesn't score those 4, and the game had stayed 3-1. Got this situation, you're 1 swing away from walking off again, but no such luck. Braves need a big inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, echoing what we talked about on Braves Live before the game, a real question mark for the club coming out of spring training was how would the bench look? That really has evolved very nicely over the course of the year for Brian Snitker. And Matt Adams has been a part of that. 1-2 count. And it's not to be tonight. He's out number 1.
Yeah, he has 11 RBIs. Lane Adams has 10. Danny Santana 10. All pinch hitting.
Yeah, it's a shame about Danny Santana. He's done for the year. He went to the 60-day DL with a leg issue. And while we won't see Danny in uniform the rest of the season, he had some brilliant moments for the Braves this year. That series out in Oakland was certainly a highlight. He played great against the A's and gave Mike Foltynewicz a chance to complete a no-hit game. Here's Ender, and a strike. Foul back. It's 0-2. Washington did finally win their game 11-10. As Jerome showed you on the game break highlights earlier, some adventures in center field by Odubel Herrera tonight. Inside the park grand slam after he misplayed a ball in center. Certainly didn't help. Dodgers have come roaring back. They lead the Rockies 4-1. LA got 4 in the first at home tonight. Dodgers trying to get streaking the other way as this one's hit towards center and playable for Yelich, who tells Ozuna he's got it, and he does. And the Braves are down to their last out. It's Ozzie Albies. We're looking forward to seeing Max Fried start again. I know you're excited about it.
Yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow night for sure.
What a thrill for him. Maybe your most memorable game came at Wrigley Field. To this point, Max Fried's most memorable game came at Wrigley Field. His first as a starter, he beat the Cubs 5-1. And that's upstairs. Saw Dennis Martinez again before the game. El Presidente's here.
Saw Dennis downstairs.
At the invitation of John Hart, he is here, offering some advice to some of the Braves' young pitchers.
Great resource.
He looks like he could still pitch too. What a nice man.
What a great career.
Two balls, no strikes. As he didn't get that, it's 2-1. Now the Braves down to their last strike as Ellington just keeps firing 98 and above fastballs.
Taking a little off. Get to 98.
Yeah. First and second, 2 outs. And Ozzie is ready. And here it is. Braves would love to see Freddie Freeman come up again. He's on deck. The runners go. The 3-2 is inside. The game continues. Bases loaded. So Freddie Freeman's coming up. Freddie has accounted for the lone Braves run, a home run in the 4th. Excellent choice. Now Bearclaws up in their pen. Don Mattingly does not want to have to use him here in the 9th in a 7-1 game. A hit might change that thinking, though. The pitch popped him up. And Ozuna in left is there, and he's got it. And the Marlins have evened up the series with a 7-1 victory tonight. Urania outduels Mike Foltynewicz. It was a very close game until Rex Brothers stubbed his toe in the 9th inning, where the Marlins scored 4 runs.
Yeah, the 9th inning really kind of took the starch out of any chance the Braves had of coming back. It made it a close game all night. Stayed in the hunt until the 9th.
Yeah, pretty well pitched, and then like I say, those add-on runs in the 9th really kind of killed any momentum for the Braves. So try again tomorrow.
Jose Urania picks up the win. He's now 13-6. Mike Foltynewicz falls to 10-12, 30,000 plus saw Game 2 of the series. We will step aside, gather our thoughts, and come back and recap Game 2 and preview Game 3 between the Braves and Fish here this weekend at SunTrust Park. That and more coming up on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity next.